Chapter 11 Pure Yang Sword Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the head of the Iron Sword sect returned, he also asked the elders to prepare some generous gifts to send to the Qin sect. The Iron Sword sect has a long heritage, and the sect has treasures to deal with innates, but he will not offend an innate master for no reason. In the meeting hall of Hu Fist Gate, Hu Tianxiong and several elders looked gloomy. This sudden change caught them off guard. The Qin sect, which was once within easy reach, is now in vain. Now the Hu Fist sect has been disgraced, which makes them hate Qin Ye and the Qin sect deeply. However, now that Qin Ye has become an innate powerhouse, this makes them terrified. You must know that once Qin Ye learns about those things before, he will definitely come to ask for an explanation. Everyone, as long as this little Qin Ye lives, we will not be able to live in peace for a day, so Qin Ye must die. Hu Tianxiong glanced at the elders and said in a deep voice. Hu Tianxiong also secretly regretted in his heart that he should have eradicated the problem at the beginning, but left Qin Ye as a disaster. Master, this Qin Ye is now an innate strong man. Even if we attack him secretly like last time, we probably won't be able to kill him. The elder hesitated for a moment and then said. What the great elder said is absolutely true. Although the innate powerhouse and the physical training are only separated by one realm, they are worlds apart. Even if we attack together, we may not be his opponents. The second elder echoed. It doesn't matter, we don't take action, we ask others to take action. Hu Tianxiong sneered. Master, this is an innately strong man, who in Qinfeng City can deal with him? The great elder asked. Ha! Of course I'm not from Qinfeng City. Do you know how to kill with blood? Hu Tianxiong laughed. The other elders looked confused and had not heard of this bloody killing. However, the expressions of the first elder and the second elder changed. The first elder trembled and said, Sect Master, is this a killer organization that claims to be able to kill everyone under the Master? Not bad. Hu Tianxiong nodded. It is rumored that this blood-killing organization is extremely terrifying. It comes and goes without a trace. It once became famous because it successfully killed a 9th-level innate powerhouse. The second elder's face changed slightly and said, Master, I'm afraid this blood-killing it's going to cost a lot. Ha! What's the price? If Qin Ye lives for a day, we will be in danger all the time. Compared with living, some external things are nothing, and there must be some treasures on Qin Ye. When he dies, we will immediately occupy the Qin sect's headquarters. Hu Tianxiong's eyes were full of ambition. He, Qin Ye, could break through Xiantian. As long as he got the treasures from Qin Ye, he believed that he could also break through Xiantian. The elders looked at each other and nodded at the same time. We all support the leader. Indeed, compared with life, money is nothing. Once Qin Ye finds out that they ambushed the Qin sect, Qin Ye will definitely take revenge. They couldn't stop the revenge of an innately strong man, so they couldn't wait to die. The next day, the sky was clear and cloudless, and the sun shone golden on the earth. In the Qin sect, in the main hall, Qin Ye was sitting on the leader's seat. Wu Xianer, Gue Hai and Wan Chen were standing in the hall. Gue Hai Yida still had an indifferent expression, while Wu Xianer looked at Qin Ye for a while and then at Gue Hai Yida again. Although she had only been in the sect for 2 years, her master loved her very much and basically had nothing to hide. If the Qin sect had such a senior, it would be impossible for her to decline to where she is now. Therefore, she didn't believe what Qin Ye said at all. Although she didn't know the specific realm of Gue Hai Yida, judging from his aura, it was obviously not weaker than Xiantian. Except for Yi Tian, even if there were Xiantian realm masters in Qinfeng City, they would not be recruited so easily, so she was curious about where this person came from, but Wan Chen was very excited at this time. Today was the day for him to become a disciple. Now he was the only one in the Qinfeng sect. It was obvious that he would be the eldest disciple of the sect master, and from then on he would be the senior brother. Disciple, pay homage to the master. Wan Chen paid homage to his master, and then paid homage to Gue Hai Yida and Wu Xianer. Qin Ye was very satisfied with Wan Chen. He nodded slightly and took out some body training pills and spirit stones to reward him. Disciple, thank you master. Wan Chen thanked him excitedly. The Wan family had given him the body training pill before when they didn't give up on him, but since they gave up on him, they naturally wouldn't supply it to him. Moreover, the quality of the body training pill is obviously top-notch. Take such a pill to Qingfeng City. If you sell it, you will definitely get a big price. System, open Wan Chen's personal information. Only then did Qin Ye remember that he had not seen Wan Chen's personal information and quickly communicated with the system. Host, wait a moment. Character, Wan Chen, race, human race, physique, pure yang sword body, not awakened, cultivation, none, exercise, none, weapon, none, note, Wan Chen is the reincarnation of Emperor Xian of the Great Zhou dynasty thousands of years ago. Once he awakens the pure yang sword body, this son will be the son of destiny, pure yang sword body. Qin Ye's eyes lit up. This was the most domineering physique among the sword bodies. Those who possess this kind of sword body are definitely geniuses. But the following introduction made Qin Ye frown slightly. Thousands of years ago, Qin Ye read about the Great Zhou Empire from ancient books. At that time, the Great Zhou Empire unified the mainland. It was an extremely huge empire that overwhelmed countless sections. Later, the Great Zhou Empire had faint kings for 3 consecutive generations, leading to internal political instability and the emergence of countless opponents. Later, many princes and sects within the empire resisted together, and eventually the Great Zhou Empire fell apart. Since then, there has never been an empire that can unify the continent. Instead, the sects are supreme, and countless kingdoms are attached to the sections. If Qin Ye remembers correctly, Emperor Xian should be the 3rd emperor of the Great Zhou dynasty. He raised the country of the Great Zhou dynasty to a peak. During his reign, he destroyed countless sections. In order not to be destroyed, many sects could only rely on the empire, but also planted the seeds for the future demise of the Great Zhou dynasty. The ancient books did not record how Emperor Xian died, but only recorded that he passed the throne to his son and then closed his eyes to break through to a higher realm. As for how he died, it is a mystery, and I am afraid only he knows it. If Qin Ye did not have a system, people like this would definitely not be able to stay around. If Wan Chen recovers Emperor Xian's memory one day, it would be dangerous. You have to know how many emperors are good, not to mention that Emperor Xian's culture and martial arts are first class, and such people are more dangerous. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of accepting disciples, and reward the host with a blind box. Just when Qin Ye was thinking about it, the system's prompt sounded. System, open the blind box. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the heavenly grade treasure Sword Spirit Pearl. Sword Spirit Pearl. Qin Ye retrieved the information about the Sword Spirit Pearl. It turned out that the Sword Spirit Pearl was only suitable for people with pure yang sword body. When a person with pure yang sword body swallowed the Sword Spirit Pearl, they could completely awaken the pure yang sword body, and cultivation would be as easy as walking on flat ground in the future. Chapter 12 Pure Yang Sword Body Awakening. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The Sword Spirit Pearl seemed to be prepared by the system for Wan Chen. Qin Ye immediately took out the Sword Spirit Pearl. It was golden in color, emitting a strong golden light and a strong power fluctuation. It is indeed a heavenly treasure. Qin Ye's eyes lit up. This heavenly treasure is indeed what cultivators dream of. If it weren't for Wan Chen's need, he would really be reluctant to take it out. Master, what is this? Women are naturally interested in glittering things. As soon as the Sword Spirit Pearl was taken out, it immediately attracted Wu Xianer's attention. This is the Sword Spirit Pearl, a heavenly treasure. What? A heavenly treasure. Wu Xianer and Wan Chen were shocked. This heavenly treasure was unheard of and only seen in ancient books. Who would have thought that they would see it here today? It's not a dream, on the contrary. Goe Haidao just glanced at it and didn't arouse his interest. Wan Chen, do you know why your master took out this Sword Spirit Pearl? Qin Ye asked. Wan Chen paused. The master would not ask him for no reason, unless, he immediately thought of a possibility and said excitedly, Master, is it possible that my physique needs to use this sword spirit bead? Qin Ye nodded. You are indeed very smart. Your physique is the pure yang sword body, which is the best sword body and is rarely seen in 1,000 years. And your body is a little special, which makes the pure yang sword body unable to awaken. Only by swallowing the sword spirit bead can it be fully awakened. After speaking, he used his spiritual power to send the sword spirit bead to Wan Chen. You swallow it now. Wan Chen took the sword spirit bead excitedly and kept kowtowed. Thank you, Master. Qin Ye waved his hand and said, You swallow the sword spirit bead now, and we will protect you. Yes, Master. Wan Chen nodded heavily and swore in his heart that he must carry forward the Qin sect in the future. The master actually gave him a treasure like the sword spirit bead. If he didn't work hard, how could he live up to the master? Wan Chen took a deep breath, calmed down, and swallowed the sword spirit pearl. As soon as the sword spirit pearl was swallowed into his stomach, it turned into a hot current that ran through his body, constantly passing through his meridians. Wan Chen gritted his teeth and endured the pain. The sword spirit pearl is a heavenly treasure. It not only contains rich energy, but also carries powerful strength. Wan Chen's body at this moment is as hard as a steel bone. Such physical strength is enough to rival the average Xiantian realm cultivator. A hot current flowed from the Dantian into his limbs and bones, and a stream of energy filled his body. Wan Chen's body seemed to be expanding, and his muscles bulged. The whole person looked very burly, as if he would explode at any time. I don't know how long it took, but it finally stopped. Wan Chen's muscles gradually contracted and returned to their original state. The whole person's breath became more condensed, and he exuded a powerful momentum. Boom! Thunder roared from his body. This is Wan Chen awakening the pure yang sword body. As expected of the pure yang sword body, it has just awakened and thunder has already been generated from the body. Is this the pure yang sword body? It's so powerful. If I didn't have the system in my hand, I'm afraid I couldn't help but snatch it. It's worthy of being the son of destiny. However, after the pure yang sword body awakens, I don't know if it will restore his memories of his previous life. Qin Ye looked at the changes in Wan Chen and smiled. Now Wan Chen has reached the peak of the 3rd level of physical training. He can break through the 3rd level of physical training at any time and reach the 4th level of physical training. This is the power of the pure yang sword body. Wan Chen suddenly opened his eyes, and a white light flashed in his eyes. There was actually a hint of sword intent in this white light. Is this the pure yang sword body? Such a powerful sword intent. The sword light flashed, but it was still captured by Qin Ye. The sword energy is released. It seems that Wan Chen has completely awakened the pure yang sword body. Qin Ye said in his heart, looking at Wan Chen who had opened his eyes. Qin Ye smiled and said, Disciple, congratulations, you have awakened the pure yang sword body, and you will be a real practitioner from now on. Wan Chen knelt on the ground and kowtowed excitedly after hearing Qin Ye's words. Disciple Wan Chen, thank you Master. Without Master, there would be no Wan Chen today. Wan Chen's forehead hit the floor, making a dull sound, and his forehead was already bloody and bright red. Qin Ye quickly helped him up. You are the eldest disciple of my Qin sect, so I naturally cannot let you lose the face of my Qin sect. Here is a good technique, you can practice it. As he said, he pointed a finger at Wan Chen's brow. Tianyuan's sword technique continuously entered Wan Chen's mind. This is a heavenly technique with great power. Even though his body was transformed by the sword spirit pearl, Wan Chen almost felt that his mind was about to explode. After fully accepting the technique, Wan Chen was so excited that he couldn't speak. This is actually a heaven-level technique. Master actually passed it to me like this. Before, Master used a heaven-level treasure to help me awaken the pure yang sword body, and now he took out a heaven-level technique. Is this the declining Qin sect? Am I dreaming? If this is called decline, then what are the other sects? I'm afraid even the Qin royal family is not so generous. How could a sect with heaven-level treasures and heaven-level techniques decline? Is all this fake? Or is there a big force behind this Qin sect? This heaven-level treasure and heaven-level technique are not something that ordinary forces can produce. I'm afraid even the Qin royal family may not be able to produce it. Hiss. Wanshan took a breath of cold air. He didn't dare to think about it anymore. He knew that he had entered an extraordinary sect. Then, Qin Ye passed the Tianyuan sword technique to Wu Xianer. As for Gui Hai Yi Dao, he didn't need it. He practiced sword technique. Sword technique was not suitable for him, and told her to practice well. If there were any problems in practice, go to Gui Hai Yi Dao, although Gui Hai Yi Dao practiced sword technique. After all, he was a master, and the problems in practice could be solved naturally. Next, Wanshan began to practice Tianyuan sword technique. Time passed, and it was time for dinner in the evening. Qin Ye gathered everyone for dinner. The food was cooked by Wu Xianer. Qin Ye, the master of a sect, naturally would not cook it himself. Wu Xianer's cooking skills were still good, but she was now the elder, so she naturally couldn't come to cook every day, so Qin Ye decided to go down the mountain to Qinfeng City tomorrow to find a chef to go up the mountain. The dinner was very pleasant. Wan Chen and Wu Xianer also asked Gui Hai Yi Dao about some cultivation matters. Gui Hai Yi Dao did not hide anything and taught them everything he knew. After dinner, they left. Not long after, Qin Ye felt a wave of fluctuations. After investigating, he shook his head and said, "This kid's perseverance is higher than I thought. He is still cultivating at this late hour." After returning to the room, Qin Ye sat cross-legged on the bed. With a change of mind, he took out a few pills from the system space and swallowed them. Although this body training pill was not of much use to him, it was a good choice to eat as a snack. Chapter 13 The Killer Attacks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Late at night, 100 meters outside Qinfeng sect, 5 black figures suddenly appeared. The 5 people who suddenly appeared were dressed in black, masked, and fully armed. They exuded a strong aura of blood and murder. They looked like murderers from hell, which made people feel chilled. One of them, tall and muscular, was the leader of the other 4. The Qinfeng sect is in front of us. The person we are going to kill this time is Qin Ye, the leader of the Qinfeng sect. According to the information we got, this person has just broken through the innate, so we'd better kill him with one strike. The leader in black clothes, the man whispered. Don't worry, helmsman, we are just dealing with an innate who has just made a breakthrough. We have assassinated many of the established innate experts. One of the men in black said with a sly smile. Although this mission is a bit simple, we still shouldn't be careless. The helmsman did not refute. After all, he also believed that killing Qin Ye was not a difficult task for him. The 5 people landed lightly on the clearing of Qinfeng sect. There was not even a gatekeeper disciple. A man in black sneered, I have been around for so many years, and this is the first time I have seen such a poor sect. The other 4 people all nodded. This was the first time they had seen such a poor sect. It was so poor that it was even worse than a small family in Qinfeng City. Let's go. The leading helmsman shouted coldly and led the remaining 4 people towards the sect. In the sect master's residence, Qin Ye was practicing cross-legged, when suddenly a figure appeared in front of Qin Ye. Sect master, someone broke in. Gui Hai Yi Dao looked cold, but his words were respectful. Qin Ye sensed it and found that 5 people had indeed broken in. One of them was very powerful and not weaker than himself. He was definitely an innate strong person. Qin Ye frowned slightly. Why did another innate strong man appear in Qinfeng City? This person seemed to be coming for him. Do you know what kind of strength they have? Qin Ye's face darkened. These people were obviously coming for him, and he had only been to Qinfeng City last time. He had the ability to invite innate experts to take action. There are not many forces. The leader is born at the 3rd level, 2 of them are at the peak of the 9th level of physical training, 1 is in the middle of the 9th level of physical training, and 1 is at the early stage of the 9th level of physical training. Gui Hai replied with a sword. Upon hearing that the other party turned out to be a 3rd level innate expert, Qin Ye's eyes flashed with solemnity. He was certain that these people were not from Qingfeng City. Such a strong lineup can sweep all the sects in Qingfeng City. It is impossible for any force in Qingfeng City to be able to defeat it. If it weren't for Gue Haida, it would be troublesome. It seems that the mastermind behind this really wants to die. Go and capture them. Qin Ye waved his hand and said with a knife to Gue Hai. Yes. Gue Hai responded with a knife and retreated. I wonder what kind of power these people are. Qin Ye frowned slightly. If he could mobilize the power of innate powerhouses, there must be other innate powerhouses. It would be best to eradicate this power completely. As soon as the 5 people entered Qingfeng Sect, they went straight to Qin Ye's bedroom. After seeing them, they already understood the architectural structure of Qingfeng Sect. However, suddenly the 5 people stopped, because they saw a person standing there not far away, obviously waiting for them. The blood-killing helmsman looked at the man standing with the knife in his hand, and his pupils shrank slightly. Although the man did not exude his momentum, standing there made him feel great pressure. In an instant, he knew that the other party was an innate strong man. Could this person be Qin Ye? He quickly denied it. The news he got showed that Qin Ye was obviously much younger than this person. Damn it, what kind of bullshit information did Hu Tianxiong give? Qingfeng Sect actually hides an innate powerhouse. The face of the bloody helmsman became extremely ugly. Among the 5 people who came this time, he was the only one who was in the innate realm. The other 3 were all in the physical training realm. However, Qingfeng Sect had 2 innate strong men. Let alone completing the mission tonight, can you escape intact? Still a problem. Fight. The blood-killing helmsman gritted his teeth, and a bloody aura emanated from his body. He took the lead and struck at Gue Hai. The remaining 4 people also took out their weapons and followed. Snort. Gue Haidao said with a cold snort. A murderous aura flashed through his eyes, and with a wave of his right hand, he swung out a sword, exuding a tyrannical aura, drawing a beautiful arc and heading towards the 5 blood-killing killers. In just a moment, the blood-killing helmsman was knocked away, and the 4 blood-killing assassins were hit by the sword energy, and their bodies exploded. The blood-killing helmsman was extremely frightened. He did not expect that he could not even block a move. The opponent was definitely not an ordinary innate realm. Gue Hai swung his body with a knife and was already in front of the blood-killing helmsman. He looked at the blood-killing helmsman with cold eyes. Under the gaze of Gue Hai Dao, the blood-killing helmsman kept trembling. Sir, I said it was a misunderstanding. Do you believe it? Gue Hai snorted coldly, grabbed the blood-killing helmsman, and walked towards Qin Ye's bedroom. Tell me, who sent you here? Qin Ye stared at the bloody helmsman and asked. The leader of blood-killing took a look at Qin Ye and knew that Qin Ye was the leader of Qingfeng Sect, but it was impossible for him to betray the blood-killing organization. Don't tell. Qin Ye frowned slightly. Humph. Don't waste your efforts. I won't tell you anything. The blood-killing helmsman snorted coldly, looking as if he was dead. I think you are looking for death. Qin Ye sneered when he saw that the blood-killing helmsman was so determined. Humph. Even if I die, I won't tell you. The blood-killing helmsman said firmly. Really? After Qin Ye said this, he slapped his palm, a violent palm print, directly towards the blood-killing helmsman. Seeing this, the leader of the blood-killing helm quickly used his power to resist. Bang! There was a loud noise, and the body of the blood-killing helmsman was directly knocked away, and he fell to the ground, vomiting blood from the corner of his mouth, and his face was pale. Sure enough, he is worthy of being a 3rd-level innate person. He was not dead even after receiving a slap from me. Qin Ye snorted coldly and was not surprised at all. He won't say it. These people are all killers and have undergone strict training. Gue Haidao said at this time. Actually, I can guess it even if you don't tell me. You are from a killer organization, and someone paid you to kill me. Qin Ye paused and said, the person who invited you must be Hu Tianxiong. The blood-killing helmsman's pupils shrank, but he still didn't speak. This subtle change was noticed by Qin Ye, who said, seal his cultivation, lock him up first, and then dispose of the corpses outside. Gue Hai Dao nodded and left with the blood-killing helmsman. Humph. This Tiger Tianxiong actually asked the killer organization to deal with me. Is it because of what happened in the square before? It's impossible. Just because of this trivial matter, it's not worth the price he paid to ask the killer organization to deal with me. Maybe he had to deal with the men in black of the sect leader are the Tiger Fist sect, so this makes sense. The Tiger Fist sect cannot be left. Originally, Qin Ye wanted to slowly search for evidence, but now there is no need. The other party has already taken action, so he is not polite. This Tiger Fist sect is destined to be destroyed, he said it, no one can be kept. Chapter 14, The Tiger Fist Sect is Destroyed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, the sky was blue, cloudless, and the weather was sunny. Qin Ye did not bring anyone with him this time. He went down the mountain alone and went to Qingfeng City to find a chef. Before going down the mountain, Qin Ye had already asked Gue Hai Dao to go to the Tiger Fist sect. Of course, he was not going to travel, but to destroy the sect. However, Qin Ye was not a murderous person. He just asked Gue Hai Dao to deal with those high-level people, and those disciples could be disbanded. Tiger Fist sect. Early in the morning, Hu Tianxiong summoned all the elders to discuss. He was a little uneasy. It was reasonable that Xue Sha would send news today, but no news had come yet. Master, don't worry. Xue Sha sent a helmsman, who is a strong man in the innate realm to deal with Qin Ye who had just broken through. It should not be a difficult task. They must have been delayed by something. I believe that news will come soon. The second elder comforted. Master, you really think too highly of Qin Ye. How can a young man who has just broken through to the Xiantian realm be a match for the master of the blood-killing hall? I think you are worrying too much. Besides, assassination is the strong point of the blood-killing assassins. I am afraid that Qin Ye's body should have been cold by now. The third elder sneered. The other elders echoed. Hu Tianxiong also thought so, but he was still a little uneasy in his heart, but he couldn't tell where the uneasy factor came from. Has the person who went to Qingfeng sect to follow not come back yet? Hu Tianxiong asked. Not yet. The second elder in charge of this matter replied. Strange, it stands to reason that he should have come back at this time. The first elder muttered to himself, the assassination happened last night. With such a big commotion, the people who followed could not have been unaware of it, but it was a bit strange that they had not reported it until now. Yesterday, 2 disciples were arranged to follow. Even if one was delayed, the other should have come back. Bang bang. At this moment, 2 people fell from the sky and landed in the hall. There were actually 2 corpses, and they were the disciples they sent out to follow. Who is it? Hu Tianxiong and the elders' faces suddenly changed. They stood up, took out their weapons, and looked at the door. Gue Hai Dao slowly walked into the hall and said coldly, the killer last night was indeed invited by you. Not good. As soon as these words came out, Hu Tianxiong and the elders' faces changed. This person actually eavesdropped on their conversation for so long, but they didn't notice it at all, which was enough to show that this person was very scary. However, they thought of something even more terrifying. Hu Tianxiong was surprised and said, are you from the Qingfeng sect? Gue Hai Dao did not reply, but just looked at them coldly, and an invisible sense of oppression came over them. The elders were oppressed by this invisible power and couldn't breathe. They knew that the person in front of them was very scary and was definitely a congenital strongman. Those people were dead yesterday. The sect master sent me to destroy the sect. Gue Hai Dao said lightly. What? The blood killers are all dead. Everyone was shocked. That was a master of the Xiantian realm with several physical training masters, but they all fell in the Qingfeng sect. Is the Qingfeng sect so terrifying? If they had known it was so terrifying, they would not dare to provoke the Qingfeng sect. Master, now we have no choice but to fight. The elder gritted his teeth. This is a blood feud. The other party has said that they came to destroy the family, so there is no reconciliation. Knowing that the other party may be a Xiantian strongman, they can only grit their teeth and fight at this time. Don't overestimate your own ability. Gue Haidao said, and his figure flashed, and he had already arrived outside the hall, swinging the sword towards the hall. The sword energy burst out with a huge force, directly bombarding the hall, raising the entire hall to the ground, and burying everyone inside. One sword is so terrifying. When the other disciples rushed over, everything was too late. Gue Haidao did not kill these disciples, but just asked them to disband completely. The master and the elders were already dead, and they had provoked a strong enemy again, so they could only disband. The news of the destruction of the Tiger Fist sect could not be concealed at all, and it spread quickly. Several leaders hurriedly brought the elders of the sect to come, and when they saw the ruins of the entire hall, they all gasped. The leader of the Qin Ye sect looked at the ruins and said slowly, according to the disciples of the Tiger Fist sect, a man came and used only one knife, and this place became like this. The leader of the Baisha sect said solemnly, who destroyed the Tiger Fist sect, that it was too terrifying. It only took one knife to destroy the Tiger Fist sect. With such strength, it might only take one knife to destroy his Baisha sect. It was the Qin sect. The leader of the Qin Ye sect replied. What? How is this possible? Even if Qin Ye broke through to the innate realm, it is impossible for him to destroy the Tiger Fist sect with one knife. All the leaders did not believe it. They had seen innate masters and had a specific understanding of the strength of innate masters. It's true. The leader of the Taijian sect nodded. What's going on? Why did the Qin sect destroy the Tiger Fist sect? Could it be that what they did before was exposed? The leader of the Black Bear sect said in a deep voice. The fact that the Tiger Fist sect had previously besieged the leader of the Qin sect could not be hidden from them. The Qin sect was a piece of fat meat, and they all wanted to take a bite. It was just that the changes were too great, and Qin Ye suddenly appeared, which forced them to give up their plans. The person who attacked was not Qin Ye, but an unknown strong man. The leader of the Qin Ye sect said, according to the information I received, it was Hu Tianxiong who was afraid of Qin Ye's revenge, so he decided to strike first and paid a large sum of money to ask Shueisha to assassinate Qin Ye. You also saw the result. Hiss. All the sect leaders took a deep breath. This frightened them more than the destruction of the Tiger Fist sect. Blood Kill is a notorious killer organization. Many innate masters in the Great Qin dynasty died at the hands of this bloody hand. Once a big man in the kingdom contacted several sects to encircle and suppress Blood Kill, but failed to exterminate it. Once targeted by Blood Kill, even innate masters can rarely escape. But now it seems that the Blood Kill operation failed, and Qin Ye sent people to destroy the Tiger Fist sect. Everyone couldn't help but feel a sense of fear. Fortunately, they didn't get involved, otherwise they might follow the footsteps of the Tiger Fist sect. So Qin sect has two innate masters, or maybe more. The head of the Baisha sect suddenly reacted and said in a lost voice. This. The other leaders also reacted and changed their faces. One innate master was already difficult for them to deal with, and now there is another one, and this one is still unknown, which makes them even more terrified. We can only make friends with the Qin sect, and we must not make enemies. The heads of the sects couldn't help but think in their hearts. The news of the destruction of the Tiger Fist sect soon spread to the city lord's mansion. Are you serious? The Tiger Fist sect was really destroyed? The city lord was shocked. Yes, city lord. What force destroyed it? The city lord looked a little ugly. A sect was destroyed in the place he governed. This was not a trivial matter. Although it was only a small sect that was destroyed, it still had to be reported to the higher-ups. According to the news, it was the Qin sect. Chapter 15 Grandmaster Wu Hai. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Qin city lord looked a little depressed, and said, does this kid Qin Ye think that he can do whatever he wants after breaking through to the innate level? City lord, it was not Qin Ye who made the move. According to the spy's report, it was another unknown strong man who made the move. Qin sect actually has a strong innate master. Hiss. The city lord's expression changed continuously, and finally he sighed and said, I know. As a kingdom official, he should not interfere in the affairs of the sect. Now Qin sect actually has 2 innate masters. He can't afford to offend them with just the city lord's mansion. The sudden appearance of 2 innate masters in Qin sect reveals something strange. Let's report it. Rubbing his eyebrows, the city lord whispered to himself. What the city lord didn't know was that Qin Ye had already entered Qin city at this time. He heard that an old man had come to the city recently and his cooking skills were very good, so he went to his house in person. The old man is now living in a restaurant in the east of the city. When Qin Ye saw him, he was still busy cooking. The old man was about 70 years old, with white hair, a thin body, a hunched back, and his back looked like he might fall down at any time. "Brother, this is the kitchen, no one is allowed to come in." The old man turned slightly, looked at Qin Ye and said with a smile. Qin Ye looked at the old man for a while, but didn't find anything strange. Out of habit, he asked the system to check. System, check his personal information. Host, wait a moment. Ding, the check is complete. Character, Wu Hai, race, human, cultivation, Grandmaster 9 peak, poison state, strength reduced to innate. Kung Fu, Qianyuan palm, soul-destroying Kung Fu. Qin Ye was speechless. He originally just wanted to find a chef to go back, but he never thought that he would meet a Grandmaster, and he was one step away from breaking through to the Grandmaster. Fortunately, the other party's strength decreased, otherwise Qin Ye would turn around and leave without saying a word. Ding! New mission activated, recruit Wu Hai to Qin sect, and reward the host with 100 years of cultivation experience. Oh my god, I'm rich, this reward is too generous. After 100 years of cultivation experience, I'm afraid I can reach the Grandmaster level. Breaking through to the Grandmaster level in an instant. This reward is simply too cool, don't miss it. Brother. The old man saw Qin Ye in a daze and called twice. Qin Ye came back to his senses and looked at the old man with shining eyes. Whether he could break through to the Grandmaster level depends on this wave. Do you know Qin sect? Qin Ye asked deliberately. I have heard that sect master Qin is young and promising. He is a congenital strong man at a young age and is admired by thousands of people. The old man nodded and said, if Qin Ye hadn't seen his information from the system, he would have been deceived by him. It is said that old people become smart, and it is true. I am the sect master of Qin sect. Qin Ye stated his identity. The old man was stunned. The moment Qin Ye came in, he had already recognized Qin Ye's identity, but he didn't know the purpose of Qin Ye's coming here. He thought he was disguised very well and no one would be able to see his disguise. I meet Master Qin. The old man saluted hurriedly. I don't know what Master Qin is doing here. My Qin sect is short of a chef. I see that you have good skills, so I specially come to invite you. Qin Ye directly stated his purpose. No matter what, the other party was once a master at the peak of the master. The old man was stunned. He thought Qin Ye knew his identity and asked him to be a chef. He couldn't help but think about it in his heart. He came to this remote Qin city, first to avoid his enemies, and second to find a way to solve the poison in his body. In his eyes, Qin sect is just an inconspicuous small sect, and going to Qin sect is also a good choice anyway. For him, in such a small town, it is the same no matter where he is. The old man was silent for a moment, then nodded in agreement and said, since sect master Qin thinks highly of me, I won't be polite. Qin Ye didn't expect it to be so smooth, and his face was overjoyed. Don't worry, the reward I give you from Qin sect is definitely much more than what you get here. Then I thanked the sect master. Qin Ye took the old man back to Qin sect, and he didn't reveal the old man's identity. Wan Chen almost cried when he saw that there was finally a chef in the sect, and he could finally have a good meal. The elder often practices and often forgets to cook. For example, he practiced on an empty stomach this morning. For him who has been practicing, the physical energy consumption is very large, and the appetite is naturally very large. The old man's cooking skills are still very good. Everyone had a delicious meal, and even Gue Hai Dao ate an extra bowl of rice. The old man is Wu Hai. When he saw Gue Hai Dao, he was very surprised. He didn't expect that there was a master in this small Qin sect. Even in some big cities, there may not be a master, but in this remote Qin city, he could see one, which naturally made him feel strange. Moreover, he could see that Gui Hai Yi Dao was very strong. Although his cultivation was only the first level of the master, he should have no problem dealing with ordinary third-level masters. He was instantly sure that there was something fishy going on in the Qin sect. However, he was also used to big scenes, and the Qin sect only aroused a little curiosity in him. After a while, he would leave. After all, he still had to find a way to solve the toxin. Late at night, everyone went to rest. Where is my reward from the system? Ding, the host has completed the task and is rewarded with 100 years of cultivation experience. Congratulations to the host, the level has been upgraded and promoted to the Grandmaster realm. Qin Ye said in his heart that as expected, 100 years of cultivation experience can only break through to the Grandmaster realm, but he was also satisfied. This is a big leap. If this is spread out, it will definitely scare a lot of people to death. Even the most talented people can't break through so quickly. When the realm was stabilized, Gui Hai Yi Dao walked in and reported to Qin Ye, Master, that Wu Hai seems to have some problems. I can feel that there is a huge amount of energy stored in his body, but he can't use it. Gui Hai Yi Dao, as a Grandmaster, although he didn't see that the other party was a peak Grandmaster, he still felt something, so he came to report to Qin Ye. I know. Qin Ye waved his hand and let Gui Hai Yi Dao leave. In the next few days, Qin Ye finally knew what it meant to be a son of luck. Wan Chen's breakthrough was really as simple as eating and drinking. In a few days, he quickly broke through to the 8th level of physical training. In comparison, Wu Xianer's breakthrough speed was very slow, and she only broke through to the 1st level. Qin Ye used the system to check Wu Xianer and found that Wu Xianer had the same physique as himself. If there was no opportunity, it would be difficult for her to even break through to the innate realm. Therefore, Qin Ye thought in his heart that when there was a way to change the physique in the future, he would use it on Wu Xianer first. Chapter 16 Sect Ranking Competition. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Since Qin Ye found out that the system could help him break through his cultivation, he has been completely flat. Every day, he either walks around here or goes to the back mountain to hunt wild game. As for cultivation, why should I practice? I have a system, why should I practice? I want to lie down. How can such a tiring thing as cultivation be suitable for me? I, Qin Ye, was born as a protagonist. With the system, breaking through is as simple as eating and drinking. It is even more impossible to practice hard. He has completely lied down. Work hard. What's the use of working hard? It's like those poor boys who suddenly won the lottery and became millionaires. They are completely flat and still work. It's okay, eat, drink, pick up girls, isn't it nice? On the contrary, Wan Chen and Wu Xianer only eat and go back to their rooms to practice. Qin Ye gave the gifts sent by other forces, most of which were some elixirs, spirit stones, exercises, etc., to the two of them. Wu Hai shook his head every time he saw Qin Ye lying down like this. He didn't know how this bastard broke through to the innate level. Since Qin Ye had the system cover up his cultivation, Wu Hai did not find that Qin Ye had broken through to the Grandmaster level. City Lord's Mansion. City Lord Qinfeng looked at the letter in his hand and his face suddenly darkened. City Lord, has something big happened? The housekeeper of the City Lord's Mansion asked. He is an old man in the City Lord's Mansion. He has been with the City Lord for more than 20 years, and he has never seen the City Lord look so ugly. This must be a big thing. Yangling Marquis has issued an order for us to coordinate the various sects to hold the sect ranking competition in 7 days. Qingfeng City Lord took a deep breath and said. The sect ranking competition is held every 10 years. It is supposed to be 2 years away. Why did the Marquis let it be held in advance? The housekeeper asked in confusion. The sect ranking competition is held by the Great Qin dynasty to coordinate with various forces. Its purpose is also very obvious. One is to investigate the strength development of the major sects in the past 10 years, the other is to promote the development of the major sects and enhance the strength of the dynasty. Although most sects are not very obedient to the dispatch of the Great Qin dynasty after they have strength, there are still many sect disciples who will enter the dynasty to work, and this phenomenon is also very common. The sect ranking competition is held every 10 years. It is strange that it is held ahead of schedule before the time comes. Qinfeng City belongs to the fief of Yangling Marquis, so Yangling Marquis's order cannot be disobeyed. It is not specifically stated in the text, but this matter may involve the princes in the capital. Qinfeng City Lord said slowly. The princes in the capital. The housekeeper frowned when he heard it. Is it for the throne? Speaking of the word throne, the housekeeper dared not say anything more, because the next words were taboo. It is not something that a small housekeeper like him can discuss when it comes to the throne. I have heard that Yangling Marquis has close contacts with the eldest prince, and the news from the capital recently is that the king's health is getting worse and worse. It seems that the struggle for royal power has begun, and Yangling Marquis has already taken sides. Qinfeng City Lord said. City Lord, what should we do? The housekeeper asked. Qinfeng City Lord pondered and said nothing. Yangling Marquis has already taken sides, which is not necessarily a good thing for Qinfeng City Lord. The throne of the dynasty changes, and few people who stand on the wrong side will have a good end. The better ones were exiled or imprisoned, and the worse ones were basically wiped out. Marquis Yangling should want to find out the strength of each sect and want to win them over personally, so we just do it. As for the struggle for the throne, we will not directly participate, no matter who wins. Yes, City Lord. I will contact all the major sects immediately and let all the shops and grain stores in the city take action to prepare for the sect competition. The housekeeper replied. Well, you go and arrange it first. Qinfeng City Lord said. Qinfeng City Lord looked at the letter in his hand, shook his head, and muttered to himself, it seems that the struggle is getting more and more intense. Even the eldest prince has to rely on the power of the sect. I am afraid that other princes are also supported by the power of the sect. Behind every generation of struggle for the throne, there will be the shadow of the sect. This was the case in the previous generation, and it will be the same in this generation. Although the sect is not bound by the dynasty, if the prince it supports ascends the throne, the benefits are obvious. Even if the prince it supports fails, it doesn't matter. One or two people can be pushed out to take the blame, and the new king generally won't offend the sect. Even a small place like Qinfeng City is not spared, which shows that the struggle for the throne has intensified. The lord of Qinfeng City looked in the direction of Qinfeng Sect, thinking that the matter reported to Qinfeng Sect before attracted the attention of Yangling Ho. The lord of Qinfeng City shook his head, and then keep busy. After arranging things, the housekeeper personally took some guards from the city lord's mansion to Qinfeng Sect. Qinfeng Sect is now extraordinary, so he naturally wants to win over Qin Ye, and at least he has to build a good relationship. Besides, this is also something that the city lord has ordered, so he naturally has to do it well. The housekeeper and his party soon arrived at the gate of Qinfeng Sect. Looking at the dilapidated Qinfeng Sect, the housekeeper and his party were speechless. I have heard that Qinfeng Sect is in tatters, and now it seems to be true. I have made up my mind and suggested to the city lord to send some people to repair Qinfeng Sect when I go back, so as to win it over. Why is there no one to welcome it? A guard muttered with dissatisfaction. No matter what, the city lord is a local official who manages Qinfeng City. Qinfeng Sect is too rude. There is not even one person to welcome him. Shut up. The housekeeper glared at him fiercely. He dared to be dissatisfied on the territory of Qinfeng Sect. Even if he was dissatisfied, he couldn't show it. Otherwise, he would die without knowing how he died. Sect Master Qin, the city lord sent me here to pay a special visit to you. The housekeeper said loudly at the door. Tell me, what's the matter? In an instant, Qin Ye's figure appeared in front of the housekeeper and the guards were stunned. Qin Ye appeared too suddenly, no, too fast. They didn't notice how Qin Ye appeared, as if he suddenly appeared out of thin air. The strength of Qin's sect master is probably stronger. The housekeeper swallowed his saliva and looked at Qin Ye with awe. The innate strong man was so terrifying, the housekeeper said respectfully. The city lord specially asked me to give some gifts to Qin's sect master Qin, as well as some materials needed for cultivation. He naturally didn't come empty-handed, but brought some spiritual stones, spiritual medicines, weapons, etc. Taking out these things was also a major blow to the city lord's mansion. However, in order to win over Qin Ye, these are still worth it. Qin Ye glanced at it and saw that there were not many spirit stones, and they were all low-grade spirit stones. The elixirs were also some inferior ones, which were all garbage to Qin Ye. Although Qin Ye looked down on these things, he didn't want to slap them in the face since they were personally sent to him, so he nodded, "Thank the city lord for me." Chapter 17, City Lord's Mansion Currying. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Sect Master Qin, the city lord sent a young man here this time. In addition to giving gifts, there are more important things to inform Sect Master Qin. The steward said. What's the matter? Qin Ye nodded slightly, non-committal. Qingfeng City will hold a sect ranking competition in 7 days. The city lord specially asked someone to inform Sect Master Qin to participate. The steward said, in the sect ranking competition, Qin Ye naturally knew that in the last sect ranking competition, Qingfeng Sect was at the bottom, and was later kicked out by the 6 major sections. Calculating that it will be held in 2 years, how can it be brought forward? Did the city lord tell me the reason for holding it in advance? Qin Ye asked. The city lord didn't say anything, but this is the order passed down by Marquis Yangling, and the city lord can only obey it. The steward replied. Qin Ye nodded slightly. He had heard of Yanglingao. He was a famous general in the Qin dynasty. He was awarded the title of Yanglingao for his military exploits. Qingfeng City was under the jurisdiction of Yanglingao. As for the reason for Yanglingao to pass down the order, it is not important to Qin Ye. As long as he does not offend him, if he dares to offend him, he will teach him how to behave, even if the Marquis holds real power. No. The sect ranking competition is for young disciples under the age of 30 to participate. The city lord's palace and participating sects will set generous rewards. This may be a good experience for other sects, but it is not for Qingfeng Sect. Qin Ye didn't like that reward at all, therefore, Qin Ye refused directly. I know, please help the housekeeper make this trip. I, the Qingfeng Sect, will not participate. When Qin Ye said this, the system prompt sounded suddenly. Ding, a new mission is activated. Please lead the disciples in the sect to participate in the sect ranking competition and win first place. The mission rewards 10 blind boxes. Qin Ye's body suddenly trembled. The 10 blind boxes will definitely draw out good things. Isn't it the sect ranking competition? How difficult is it to get first place? This sect ranked first in the competition, and he wanted it. It's useless for anyone to come. Sect Master Qin, you haven't finished what you just said, please continue. The steward said respectfully. What I'm talking about is that Qingfeng Sect will definitely go to the sect ranking competition and win the first place. Qin Ye came back to his senses and changed his words. Butler, that's not what you said just now. I just wish Qingfeng Sect success and all your wishes come true. The butler congratulated, but he felt a little disapproving in his heart. Although Qin Ye is an innately powerful person, the outside world has long known about the situation of Qingfeng Sect. There are only a few people in the entire Qingfeng Sect, and there is only one disciple, who was just recruited, the famous good-for-nothing Wanchen. Even if the Qingfeng Sect had the means to enable Wanchen to practice, it would only take a few days. Wanchen could at most break through to the second level of physical training. With such strength, he would probably be eliminated in the first round. I'd like to thank you for your good words. I'll reward you with this elixir. Qin Ye flicked his fingers, and a fragrant elixir fell into the steward's hands. The housekeeper took a closer look and recognized it as a top-quality body training pill. He looked shocked. Such a top-quality body training pill could be given away. In comparison, these gifts from the city lord's palace seemed a bit stingy. Son, then the butler looked surprised. This top-quality body training elixir was worth a lot of money and would be of great help to his practice. Thank you, Master Qin, for the reward. The steward thanked him excitedly. A pill is nothing. Qin Ye said in a very pretentious manner. the aura of a boss emanating from the inside out, the housekeeper was speechless. If you take a physical training pill and put it up for auction, the money from the auction will be enough to repair the sect. However, this was Qin Sect's matter, and it was not easy for him to interfere. Sect Master Qin, what the city master ordered me to pass on to you has been completed and I will leave now, the steward said. Yes. Qin Ye nodded. The butler asked people to carry the gifts into the Qin sect. At this time, he saw a middle-aged man sweeping the floor. The butler took a second look, put down the gifts, and left with his guards. On the way down the mountain, the guard captain felt strange when he saw the butler frowning and said nothing, and asked, "Butler, what's wrong? Did you see the man sweeping the floor just now?" The housekeeper asked. "I saw it." The guard captain smiled and said, "Isn't it just a sweeper? I guess it was Sect Master Qin who recruited him from a nearby village." "Is there anything strange about this?" The housekeeper shook his head. "No. That person's aura is restrained, I can't even feel his depth. I'm afraid he is another innate strong man." "Is he the one who took action to destroy the Tiger Fist sect?" the guard captain asked. "No. It wasn't him. It was another person who destroyed the Tiger Fist," the steward said. Hiss. The guard captain took a breath and said, "So, Qin Zongming already has 3 innate experts on his side. The water in Qin sect is very deep." The housekeeper looked back at the Qin sect's mountain gate. Although the mountain gate was still so dilapidated, no one dared to look down upon it. The innate strong man was actually sweeping the floor. Hiss. He didn't dare to think about it anymore. After the housekeeper and his party left, Qin Ye looked back at the dilapidated mountain gate and whispered, "This mountain gate is too dilapidated. It should be repaired. The Qin sect is rising. This mountain gate represents the face of the sect. It does not need to be as magnificent as the palace, but it must at least be grand and show the majesty of the Qin sect." Qin Ye planned to find someone to repair it after the sect ranking competition was over. He is not short of money now, so he casually took out some spiritual stones in his hand, and many families in Qin City were willing to pay high prices to buy them. Spirit stones are essential for cultivation, and absorbing the spiritual power in them helps with cultivation. These small families in Qin City don't earn much spirit stones, and they have to pay some to the sects behind them, leaving only some for themselves. A family can easily have dozens or hundreds of people, which consumes a lot of spirit stones. This means that they can only be used by a few core figures, which indirectly limits the development of the family. There is no way around it. Even in those sects, spirit stones are very limited, and not every disciple can be allocated spirit stones for cultivation. Qin Ye turned around and walked into the sect, passing by the middle-aged man. Looking at the very cleanly swept ground, he nodded in appreciation and said, "Well, good, do a good job, I'm optimistic about you." The middle-aged man was silent for a while and said, "Yes, Sect Master." The middle-aged man was the blood-killing helmsman who assassinated Qin Ye before. Qin Ye did not kill him, but it felt like a waste of food to stay, and Qin sect was short of people now, so he asked him to sweep the floor. Although the blood-killing captain was very tough and refused to reveal any information about the blood-killing, he also didn't want to die. He had to bow his head under the eaves, so he could only pick up the broom and sweep the floor every day. His cultivation was sealed now, and he couldn't leave even if he wanted to, and he accepted his fate. Through observation over the past few days, he found that the cultivation of the man named Gue Hai Yi Dao might be more powerful than he thought, and it was almost impossible to escape from him. Moreover, he found that this place was actually not bad. Not only was the air fresh, but there was nothing else to do every day except sweeping the floor. Chapter 18 Bloody Kill arrives. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sect Master Qin, I believe that Shui Kill already knows about my disappearance. With Shui Kill's behavior, they will definitely send someone to retaliate. The helmsman of Shui Kill was silent for a while and said slowly. What level of experts do you think they will send? Qin Ye asked curiously. Qin Ye was not surprised at all when Shui Sha sent someone to take revenge. This was a normal thing. Elders may be sent here. Sect Master Qin may not know that each of the blood-killing elders must be innately strong at level 6 or above to be qualified to serve as an elder. Said the blood-killing helmsman. Got it. Qin Ye waved his hand and left. He no longer cares about the 6th level innate warriors. He will destroy as many as they come. Sect Master Qin. The blood-killing helmsman opened his mouth, wanting to say that 6th level innate warriors are very terrifying, and wanted to remind Qin Ye to be careful, but Qin Ye's figure disappeared in front of his eyes in the blink of an eye. Looking at the direction in which Qin Ye disappeared, the blood-killing helmsman shrank his eyes. Qin Ye disappeared so quickly that he didn't even notice what movement Qin Ye used. Shaking his head, the blood-killing helmsman no longer thought about it, but concentrated on sweeping the floor. Back in the main hall, Qin Ye sent a message to Wu Xianer and Wan Chen to come to the main hall. Senior brother, is the blood killer coming? After hearing Qin Ye's message, Wu Xianer immediately put down her training and rushed over. Ever since she learned about the blood killing, Wu Xianer devoted herself to training and made rapid progress. Wan Chen also rushed over quickly and saluted Qin Ye, Master. The City Lord's mansion just sent someone here to tell you that a sect ranking competition will be held in Qinfeng City in 7 days. This time, our Qinfeng sect will participate, and our Qinfeng sect will take first place, Qin Ye said. Master, don't worry, I have already broken through to the 8th level of physical training, and I will be able to break through again soon. In 7 days, the disciples will strive to break through to Xiantian. Wan Chen said with confidence, since the awakening of the pure yang sword body, coupled with the heaven-level skills passed down by Qin Ye, Wan Chen's cultivation has become as simple as eating and drinking, and the breakthrough speed is simply terrifying. Good, Qin Ye nodded happily. The son of luck is the son of luck. Whether he can get the first place this time depends on Wan Chen. Qin Ye looked at Wu Xianer and decisively gave up the idea of letting her participate. Although Wu Xianer practiced very hard, her breakthrough speed was still very slow. Aptitude is something you are born with. If you cannot change your aptitude, no matter how powerful you practice, your breakthrough speed will not be as fast as others. She and Wan Chen are in sharp contrast. They practice the same technique, but their breakthrough speeds are different. I'm holding back my senior brother. Wu Xianer lowered her head, almost crying. Wan Chen, who had just started, was confident that he could break through to Xiantian in a few days, but he was still training at the 6th level, and he was still there is no sign of a breakthrough. Junior sister, don't worry, I will find a way to improve your cultivation after a while. Qin Ye comforted, after completing the mission this time, there will be 10 blind boxes, and you might be able to draw treasures that can improve your cultivation. He decided to give them to Wu Xianer first. Thank you, senior brother. Wu Xianer said listlessly, thinking that Qin Ye was comforting herself. If there really was such a treasure, she believed that the senior brother would have taken it out long ago. In the next few days, there was a strong wind in Qinfeng Sect, and the sword energy soared to the sky. Qin Ye had no choice but to go fishing in the back mountain to pass the time. On this day, Wan Chen successfully broke through to the 9th level of physical training, causing a ripple in the space. It's terrible. It's terrible. In just a few days, Wan Chen has broken through to the 9th level of physical training. The blood-killing helmsman who was sweeping the floor felt a fluctuation in the space, and his expression was full of surprise, thinking back to the time when I broke through the speed, and then looking at Wan Chen's breakthrough speed. I feel like I have lived like a dog for so many years. Then, another wave of fluctuations came from Wu Xianer's bedroom. The blood-killing helmsman was even more surprised. Is breakthrough so easy now? Is it because I am old and can't keep up with the times, or is it because the other person is the pride of heaven? Something is wrong. There is definitely something wrong here. The Qinfeng sect definitely has a terrible secret. The blood-killing helmsman was not a fool. He quickly realized something, and the source of all this must be Qin Ye. Although he knew that Qin Ye had secrets, he was powerless. He was not just a sweeper, so what could he do? This kid Wan Chen is very talented. Even in the entire Great Qin dynasty, he is definitely ranked among the top. This kid Qin Ye really picked up a good idea. If I weren't anxious to find a way to detoxify, this kid Wan Chen would be a good one. A good heir. Old Man Wu looked up at Wan Chen's room, then lowered his head to wash the vegetables. Qin Ye, who was fishing in the back mountain, looked in the direction of Old Man Wu, that is, Wu Hai, with a mysterious smile on his lips. This old boy has searched through the entire Qinfeng sect in the past few days, and Qin Ye did not stop him. There are no hidden secrets in Qinfeng sect, because the biggest secret lies within him. We have to find a way to control this Old Man Wu. After all, he was once a master at the peak of his powers, and he is definitely the strongest combat power for the current Qinfeng sect. I don't know how many people will be sent here to die in this bloody massacre. Qin Ye fished leisurely and then forgot about the bloody murder, just as the leader of Blood Kill said. Blood Kill failed in this mission, causing the Blood Kill headquarters to be furious. To assassinate a small sect leader, one of his own branch assassins was involved. Since its establishment, Blood Kill has completed countless missions, but failed only a few times. Now, it has failed in this unknown Qinfeng city. This is simply a slap in the face of Blood Kill. Therefore, Blood Kill took it very seriously this time and specially sent an elder and 2 deacons to investigate the cause and complete the mission. The employer is dead, but how can Blood Kill let it go after suffering such a huge loss? The elder and 2 deacons quickly arrived at Qinfeng city. They did not rush to Qinfeng sect, but inquired about it and then went to Taijian sect. The 3 of them broke into Taijian sect directly, injured several people, and captured the leader of Taijian sect and several elders. The leader of Taijian sect was very upset. He was sitting at home, but the disaster came from the sky. He had been so low-key, but someone still came to his door. Being inferior to others in strength, he could only bow his head and act like a grandson. He asked cautiously, "What do you 3 adults want from the Iron Sword sect?" "I will fully cooperate." The captured elders all nodded in agreement, and almost kowtowed to them and called them grandpa. The blood-killing elder glanced at them with contempt, and then stated his purpose: "Tell me all the information you know about the Qinfeng sect, and I will spare your lives." Yes, I will tell you everything." The leader of the Iron Sword sect nodded and bowed without any backbone. Chapter 19 All Solved. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The leader of the Taijian sect told everything he knew about the Qinfeng sect, without hiding anything. It was a matter of life and death, so he naturally did not dare to hide anything. "So, there are 2 innate warriors in the Qinfeng sect?" Elder Shueisha asked. "Yes, sir, I have confirmed that the other innate warrior is called Gui Haidao, an elder of the Qinfeng sect, and I don't know where he suddenly appeared from." The leader of the Taijian sect said truthfully. Elder Shueisha nodded, thinking that it seemed that the reason why the assassins of the branch failed was that they were defeated by this man named Gui Haidao. "Aren't you curious about where we came from?" Elder Shueisha suddenly asked, and then looked at the leader of the Taijian sect with a dim look. The leader of the Taijian sect trembled. He was not a fool. He knew that the other party had the intention to kill him. If he didn't answer well, he would probably have to explain it here today. He said quickly, "Where are you from?" "I dare not ask, nor guess." The blood-killing elder stared at the Iron Sword sect master. After a long while, he retracted his gaze and said, "You are lucky. This elder does not want to kill anyone today." After that, the blood-killing elder stood up and left with 2 deacons. The Iron Sword sect master and the elders all breathed a sigh of relief. The 3rd elder asked cautiously, "I don't know where these killers came from." That the Iron Sword sect master glared at him and shouted, "Be careful. We can't afford to offend them." The Iron Sword sect master is not a fool. From the strong murderous aura on the 3 people, he can tell that these people are killers. In addition, they are asking about the Qinfeng sect. Considering that the Tiger Fist sect hired a killer to assassinate Qin Ye a few days ago, it is self-evident where these people came from. On the way to Qinfeng sect, a blood-killing deacon asked, "Elder 10, why don't you destroy Taijian sect?" Elder Blood-killing said quietly, "This time the target is Qinfeng sect. Taijian sect is a small sect. If we destroy them, this elder will dirty his hands." From the beginning to the end, elder blood killing did not take small sects like Taijian sect seriously. Another deacon frowned and said, "What if they tip off Qinfeng sect?" Elder blood killing laughed and said, "They don't have the guts, and they wish we could destroy Qinfeng sect. If they really tip off, that's great. Let Qinfeng sect prepare, and this elder will just catch them all in one fell swoop." That night, elder blood killing and 2 deacons arrived at Qinfeng sect quietly. Elder blood killing and 2 deacons did not enter Qinfeng sect immediately, but stood near Qinfeng sect to monitor Qinfeng sect's actions. In the second half of the night, elder blood killing felt that the time had come, so he sent a deacon to go in first to explore the way. The deacon thought that the 10th elder was too cautious. Even if there was a congenital master in a small sect like Qinfeng sect, it was at most a low-level congenital master. The 3 of them could definitely destroy Qinfeng sect easily, so there was no need to go through so much trouble. However, the other party was the 10th elder after all, with a noble status, and he could not offend him. He did not dare to refute him at the moment. The deacon easily broke into the mountain gate of Qinfeng sect. Looking at the dilapidated mountain gate, his eyes twitched. It was too shabby, and there was not even a protective formation, not even a gatekeeper disciple. How poor must Qinfeng sect be? He walked into Qinfeng sect openly, and no one stopped him. Qinfeng sect was very quiet. He released his divine consciousness and sensed it. He soon found Qin Ye's bedroom, and a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Found it. However, suddenly a black shadow flashed by, and before he could react, he was knocked unconscious with a snap. Gue Haidao's figure emerged from the black curtain, took a look, grabbed his body and left. Elder Shuesha and another deacon waited for a while, and saw that the person they sent out had not returned yet. They frowned slightly. It had been so long, and he had not returned yet. Nothing must have happened. The 2 waited for a while, but he still hadn't returned. At this time, they both realized that something had happened. Elder Shuesha decided to charge in. With his strength of the 6th level of innateness, even if there were 2 innate warriors in Qinfeng sect, he could easily deal with them. Just as the 2 were about to raise their feet, they were suddenly stunned. A figure suddenly appeared in front of them. Not good. He was discovered. Elder Shuesha's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness. What if he was discovered? With his own strength, he had nothing to fear. He said sternly, "Kill him." That the other deacon laughed and swung the long sword in his hand. The sharp sword light soared into the sky and hit the black shadow in front of him. Humph. Trivial tricks. That the ruthless man didn't say much. Gue Hai slashed with a knife, and instantly defeated the sword light. He continued to move and hit the deacon's body, and instantly the deacon's body was split in 2. Hiss. Elder Shuesha took a breath and killed the deacon with 1 knife. You know, this deacon is his confidant, and his strength is the 3rd level of innate. Even if he does it himself, it is impossible to solve it in 1 move. This strength is too terrible. Who is your excellency? Elder Shuesha asked while looking at Gue Haidao. Gue Haidao. Do you really want to go against us? Elder Shuesha said sternly. Gue Haidao snorted coldly and slashed with a knife as an answer to him. Looking at the oncoming knife light, Elder Shuesha's face changed. There was actually a knife meaning in the knife light. This is purely a knife master, born for the knife. Such a person is very terrible once he grows up. However, at this time, he had no extra time to think about it. He shot out both palms at the same time, and 2 majestic chi instantly gathered between his palms, forming a huge palm print. With a roar, the palm print collided with the sword light in the air, and exploded immediately. The tyrannical power knocked down all the surrounding trees. The blood-killing elder was blown away by the powerful energy and fell heavily to the ground. Puff. He spit out a mouthful of blood and suffered internal injuries. Impossible. Who are you? It's impossible for someone like you to appear in a small town like Qinfeng City. Elder Shuesha said in disbelief. He couldn't even catch a single move, and looking at the opponent's relaxed look, it was obvious that he hadn't used his full strength yet. If the sect master hadn't spared your life, you would have died just now. Gui Hai looked at Elder Shueisha with a knife. That look was full of regret. Blood-killing elder, that he did not expect that one day his power of life and death would fall into the hands of others, but the reality is so full of helplessness. Gui Hai Yida looked at the elders of Blood Kill with a faint look and said, I hope there will be more powerful people in Blood Kill next time. Elder Shueisha's expression changed. The other party actually regarded Shueisha as prey. Damn it! Is my bloody killing so easy to deal with? On the spot, he wanted to say a few harsh words, but suddenly he looked at Gui Hai Yida in shock. You are actually a strong master. Chapter 20 I would rather die than be a servant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It turned out that Gui Hai Yida had already exuded the aura of a master. Elder Shueisha had obviously met the Grandmaster, so he could tell at a glance Gui Hai Yida's cultivation level. How is it possible? How is it possible? How can a small declining sect have a master? Elder Shueisha was shocked for 100 years. You must know that a Grandmaster is in a high position among those big forces. Even among Shueisha, there are only a few. But now a Grandmaster appears in this small Qinfeng city. How could he not be shocked? He secretly cursed the helmsman for being stupid for accepting such a mission. No wonder the mission failed. Then, he became worried again. This mission failed. If Shueikil sent someone over again, wouldn't it be? He didn't dare to think about it anymore. Gui Hai Yida appeared in front of Elder Shueisha with a body shaped like lightning, and stretched out his fingers to instantly seal his cultivation. The blood-killing elder had no power to fight back, and his cultivation was blocked before he could resist. In front of a Grandmaster, even if he wanted to resist, he couldn't. Old rule, lock them up. Qin Ye's voice came over. It turns out that Qin Ye has been paying attention to this place. Yes, Sect Master. Gui Hai saluted with his sword in the direction of the sect and said respectfully. Elder Shueisha naturally heard Qin Ye's voice. When he saw Gui Hai Yida looking so respectful, his expression changed again. This Gui Hai Yida was already a master, and should be the supreme elder of Qinfeng sect. But now he is so respectful to the leader of Qinfeng sect. This is obviously wrong. Could it be that the leader of Qinfeng sect is also a strong master? Hiss. The blood-killing elder no longer dared to imagine that two powerful masters would appear in a small town's unconventional sect. Even a storybook would not dare to write this. As a result, Elder Shueisha was imprisoned together with the previous deacon. The next day, the bloody helmsman was sent by Qin Ye to deliver food to them. The blood-killing helmsman walked in carefully carrying the food basket. When he raised his head and looked over, he was surprised. 10th Elder, Deacon Xiu, it's you. The blood-killing helmsman has been to the headquarters several times and knows a lot about the people in the headquarters. The 10 elders and Deacon Xiu are both important figures in the headquarters. Unexpectedly, the people sent by the headquarters are the two of them. The 10th elder and Deacon Qiu were looking downcast. When they heard someone recognizing them, they looked up and saw that it was the blood-killing helmsman. They instantly understood that he had also been caught. Master Lu, hurry us out. Deacon Qiu shouted with surprise when he saw the bloody leader. Killed the helmsman with blood. Deacon Qiu's face suddenly became angry when he saw that the leader of the blood-killing had not taken action yet, and he said loudly, Master Lu, have you already betrayed the blood-killing? Do you know the consequences of betraying the organization? I did not sell out Blood Kill. You have also seen that my whole body cultivation level is blocked just like you. Even if I let you out, can you really get out? Asked the leader of Blood Kill. Deacon Qiu suddenly stopped firing, thinking of the strong man who knocked him out last night. He couldn't help but shudder. 10th Elder, Deacon Qiu, don't think about going out. This is the meal that the sect leader asked me to bring you. If you don't want to starve to death, just eat it. The blood-killing helmsman said and sent the vegetable basket in. What will they do with us? The 10th Elder asked. 10th Elder, according to my observation, Sect Master Qin is not a murderous person, so it is very likely that you will stay in Qinfeng sect as a servant like me. The blood-killing helmsman was silent for a moment and said. What? My deacon, who is a bloody murderer, and my innate cultivation, let me work as a servant in this small sect. Even if I die, I will not live like this. Deacon Cho suddenly became angry. With his cultivation, you can easily become an elder in any sect. In a small and broken city like Qingfeng City, it is enough to start a sect. Now let him be a servant. Is he capable of such a despicable job? A strong person has the dignity of a strong person, and a strong person cannot be insulted. Even if he dies, he will not be a servant. Qin Ye, who had been paying attention to this place, saw that Deacon Cho was very tough, so he thought about how to deal with this guy. It would be a pity to kill him. After all, he was an innate strong man, and he was not very obedient if he was left alone. He soon thought of a way, so he sent a message to Gui Hai to give him a blow. Gui Hai Yida received Qin Ye's order and came here quickly to take Deacon Cho away. Before leaving, Deacon Cho shouted, "10th Elder, don't worry, I am loyal to the organization and will never live in an ignoble way." The 10th Elder nodded happily and said, "You can go with peace of mind." Gui Hai brought Deacon Cho to the practice room with a knife. Deacon Cho felt a little strange when he saw this, but he was still very strong. "Kill if you want, I will never beg for mercy." Soon, Wan Chen arrived here. Gui Hai said to Wan Chen with a knife, "You broke through too quickly and have no actual combat ability. The sect leader specially left this person to train with you." Wan Chen already knew what happened last night, and also knew that the other party was an innate strong man, and he immediately burst into tears of gratitude to Qin Ye. "Master is so generous, he actually let an innate strong man be my sparring partner. How can other sects have this treatment?" "Don't worry, Master, I will definitely live up to your expectations." "Tsk, what a joke. I will never be his sparring partner." Butler Cho sneered. Being a sparring partner for a person who has no talent at all would be a disgrace to him. Gui Hai Yida did not speak, but unlocked some of his seals, allowing him to only display his peak strength at the 9th level of physical training. Then he stepped aside and shouted to start. "Kill!" That Wan Chen knew that the opportunity was rare. His figure was like lightning, and he left a trace of afterimage, swinging his sword to kill Deacon Cho. Deacon Cho was not stupid. Even if he did not serve as a sparring partner, he would not be able to accept being beaten by a young boy. "Okay. Since you asked me to serve as a sparring partner, I think this boy has an extraordinary status. I will catch him and threaten him to escape. Even if he cannot escape, I will make him die with him." Deacon Cho figured it out in an instant, shouted, took the initiative to meet him, and slapped him with a fierce palm. Although Deacon Cho was a strong man in the innate realm, because his cultivation was sealed, he could only exert the strength of the 9th level of physical training. However, at the moment when Deacon Cho made his move, Wan Chen's figure shook and disappeared strangely. When Deacon Cho came to his senses, a cold chill had come from behind. "Not good." Deacon Cho dodged quickly, but he was still a step too slow. A sword energy came and hit his body. His body was immediately knocked away and hit the wall. Poof. Deacon Cho fell to the ground, spitting out a large mouthful of blood, his eyes wide open, staring at Wan Chen in disbelief. He didn't expect that he would be injured by a young boy with a sword. Although the opponent had a sneak attack, he was defeated. Wan Chen did not stop and swung his sword again. Deacon Cho. 2 hours later, Deacon Cho was thrown back by Gui Hai with a knife. At this time, Deacon Cho was simply unbearable to look at. His nose and face were swollen, and he was beaten into a pig head. There were many sword wounds all over his body. It was simply horrible. Even moving a finger was very difficult. The 10th Elder had been in blood kill for so many years, and he was used to seeing life and death, but seeing the miserable state of Deacon Cho, he couldn't help but ask, "Did they abuse you?" "Woo, 10th Elder, they don't follow the ethics of martial arts, restricting my Xiantian realm cultivation and making me practice with their disciples. Their disciples are also perverted, and they use every move to hit me hard." Deacon Cho complained. "Alas. It's really hard for you." The 10th Elder's mouth twitched and sighed. "10th Elder, don't worry. I won't give in." Deacon Cho said loudly, the 10th elder secretly praised Deacon Chiu for being a good comrade. He was tortured like this, but his will was still so firm. He really didn't make a mistake in the beginning. If he could be safe this time, he would definitely reuse him.